up, everybody, and welcome to the Unusual Suspects podcast. I'm your host, Vincent Oshana. We have, guys, first of all, we're in the Valuetainment Cigar Lounge. What's it called? The boardroom?
The boardroom.
Just chill.
Yep.
I mean, you know, it's exclusive. We're going to have a membership only. You have your cigars and stuff here. It's going to be sick. Just to give you guys a heads up, this show, we're going to talk about everything and anything. Nothing is off the table. We're going to hit every single topic. But, guys, I'm going to say something right off the jump. This isn't Fox. This isn't CNN. You on your own, you do your own research. We're just a bunch of guys talking trash, and it is what it is. I'm going to go around to have everybody introduce themselves off the rip. I'm going to start with you, Rob. Rob, let everybody know who you are and what you do, and a little brief something about you.
Oh, sure. Hi, my name's Rob Garguilo. I work at Valuetainment. I am the producer for the PBD podcast. I'm also a comedian, and I am here on the Unusual Suspects podcast.
Beautiful. Kayvon, let everybody know what's up.
I am the newest hire at Valuetainment, and I like to do stand-up comedy, and then I'm doing The Right Show, which we just had our first episode drop today, so be sure to check that out. It's on Kayvon Comedy. That's the name of the channel, all brought to you by PBD, and I want to thank Vinny Oshana for letting me hang in the lounge.
You're welcome, baby boy. Moving on, we're going to go to my really good friend. He can squat 500 pounds. Woo! Easy. Brandon Aceto. Brandon, let everybody know who you are.
What's up, guys? I'm Brandon. I am Pat's content coordinator, and I also do a lot of the YouTube hosting stuff. I also have my own YouTube channel that I started last year and did pretty well, and I'm thrilled to be at Valuetainment now. Excited to be on this show, too.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Of course.
And the guy, California. I've known this guy for 15, 16 years.
Yep.
Really good friend.
Amazing.
Still owe him money, which is fine. Hey, it is what it is. I'll be honest and open with everybody.
It's okay.
Brady Matthews, Brady, let everybody know who you are.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Take your seats. I appreciate it. No, let's see. It's good to be here. I'm just happy to be around some funny guys, tell some crazy stories. I'm also a comedian as well. I'm also starting my own show here. It's a sports comedy show. We're working with a couple of different titles, so look out for that. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Brady Matthews 13. I also do art. I love art, so if you guys like art, check me out with that too.
Amazing art.
Yeah,
He's
tons of art.
He's a great artiste. And
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, dude, and just right before we even started, I know this is it's like weird because I know my crotch is in the shot, but like I never like this. First of all, yeah, no socks. Look at But by the way, I can't.
Did you run out of the house and you were just like, no
Socks are in the pants.
But also, this is the thing now. I've seen this.
This is the thing, but I don't like it.
But this isn't a thing.
No, I don't like this thing. But I think like that hurts. Nothing about this feels good.
Yeah.
And like
Man spread. You got a man spread.
No, I do that. But like Rob, you selected. You're happy with that?
No. Does this look natural?
He's been stuck like that since he
holding my leg up with my other hand. So no, it's not comfortable at all.
You're doing a scratch.
Rob, you look like an unusual person in general. But I never I see it's wealthy people. I think once you hit $1 million, this is cool because mind you, my ankle hurts, my quad hurts. This area, nothing is going good right now.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to do that. My ankles are way too.
But you look like you have money. Put your leg back up.
Yeah,
From the knee down, money.
Yeah.
Above,
You do,
Yeah, guys.
Pose money.
It looks like a polo Ralph Lauren ad right here.
Yeah.
Right
By the
here.
way, I'm not comfortable at all.
Yeah.
Guys,
That's the whole point of modeling.
100%.
Yeah.
Brady, what do you think when he has like new shoes and pants? And he still owes you, but he owes you money though at
I'm
the same.
jealous because my shoes, we get a close up of my shoes.
He's still got art on his shoes right there.
And by the way, let's be real, that is the worst
so
thing.
LA.
Brady, I don't know who just mentioned it. Was it you? The worst thing I think ever is hanging out with somebody that owes you money and they're buying shit and you're like, dude.
Yes.
And you're just like, you can't say anything because you don't want to be that person, but I wish I had the gall to be like, dude, that you asked for another side of sides. You could easily give me that $20. Like,
Or if they offer to buy you a drink, you're like, why don't you just give me my money back?
yeah, how about I don't want the drink.
Well, technically, you're buying yourself a drink. If they owe you money,
Yeah.
if they're buying you a drink, that's your
By the way, can I be honest with you guys? I haven't been drinking that much water. I drank a Volt, which is the Valuetainment. This is our new drink. It's on Amazon right now. It's a Volt. Guys, I feel like I did cocaine. I'm not even joking, because guys, I don't know if you guys know this. This isn't an energy drink. This has ketones that makes your brain
Unlock your inner genius.
Unlock your inner genius. And guys, I'm gonna be genuine. I cannot drink Red Bull. I cannot drink the Monsters. I can't touch. I'm being dead serious. I can't touch Rob. I have high blood pressure. This doesn't affect this, but in here, I'm just like, is this real life?
You're on a different plane.
I'm on a different plane, but it's awesome. It's on Amazon. It's a Volt. But guys, I'm excited. This is chilling. At some point, we'll start smoking cigars, but
Yeah, where's my cigar?
I'm going to be choking, but we're going to do it.
Usually
But
we drink alcohol too, but I guess
we
today-
appreciate everybody out there watching. So, guys, I want to get into the first topic, which is, it's kind of big. It's out there right now. Russell Brand. He just, I think 2-3 days ago, the system, the matrix, the establishment, whatever you want to call it, hit the trigger. They hit the switch.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. He must have said something that pissed people off, which obviously we all know what it was. They made a documentary. I think 4 out of the 5 girls are staying anonymous. Isn't that always convenient?
But these are allegations from what is it, 20 years ago?
No, not 20. I think it was 2008 or 2006. But and here's my thing. It's no proof, no nothing. These people are in the shadows. Kevin, they're just chilling and they're but like it's hard to speak your truth when you're in the shadow. Me personally, I can't tell your truth unless I see your face. What do you? Because by the way, I don't judge people, but I'm a pretty good judge of character. Like I know, I'm 45. When somebody's BSing, right? How old are you?
28.
You're 28. At this point of your life, you could be
lying
like,
all the time.
he's lying 24/7.
He's
actually
His name's not even branded. Yeah, this is all bullshit.
It's like, by the way,
Squat 500 pounds.
by the way, and not
Look at those legs he can.
not to good Cal, not to get off the story. Brandon, what is you got a master's degree in what?
National security.
National security. Do you guys know what that means?
You're a Fed, aren't you?
I thought I wanted to be in the CIA, but then I saw what they're really all about and did not want to be a part of the CIA.
That's what a
anymore.
guy that's in the CIA would tell a bunch of guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Convince him he wasn't in the CIA.
Fed. Brandon, just out of sheer curiosity, what are those classes like? Like, are you just in a classroom and the teacher's like, hey, Brandon,
it's kind of
secrets?
crazy.
What is what if you could tell us? I mean, you could. It's not like you have a clearance.
Yeah.
What's something that like you saw or you learned that you're like, oh my god, dude, like this is bananas.
Yeah, so there's a deep, intense focus on psychology and like all little things about what makes people lie, how to pick up on lying and whatnot,
Shut up.
what makes people tick. Yeah, the CIA is deeply focused on psychology more than anything. And but the split of teachers is like some of them are really smart and you can tell, oh, these are some people that have done some shit and seen some shit, but some of them are just straight propaganda machines, like saying things that CNN might as well be saying.
Wow. So this. Go ahead.
Vinny,
Okay.
I wanted you to know that there was a way that mobsters used to know if someone was a real businessman or a federal agent.
How?
And if they weren't wearing dress socks, so they'd be in a 3-piece suit,
Like
but
this
they
guy?
were
So wait. So
no. They'd be wearing athletic socks because feds wear it. So we got to check his socks. If
Yeah.
he's
Show
wearing
us
the
your
white-
socks.
yeah,
Let's see your
white-
socks.
Show us your.
he has fed. Hey, but the audio guys are like, shut the hell up. But see, we're going, and this goes into the lying and these people that are in the shadows. And bro, if I don't see you, Brandon, I can't take your word.
Well,
And this-
anybody who's, if you have a bad reputation amongst people, like if he's the type of person who constantly did that, then there would be plenty of people, no shortage of women coming forward saying that. But the fact that they have to look and find like a few that are saying it and aren't even coming out and saying it without being anonymous, then that says it all, I think.
If
and
you
go ahead, Rob.
Well, if you look at how some of these investigations unfold, they're very interesting. Dave Portnoy, who owns Barstool Sports, there was a hit piece against him from Business Insider, and the way that they started was they started reaching out to every girl that had been photographed with Dave Portnoy, and then going, hey, did you ever have an experience with Dave that wasn't pleasant? And these women started screen grabbing it and sending those back to Dave. So Dave knew something was up and went on the offensive before. And at one point he said, I'll do any interview with any media outlet whatsoever to address these allegations because they're not true. What sucks about Russell Brand is if you watch his content, I've watched a lot of it, everything that he's accused of is inherently against what he speaks about. It's so then it makes you question, and it does, even though it's 2023, and I know we're in the age of you still have to trust all women. Remember Me Too. You had to believe all women.
But what is a woman? Like, but now I'm like, okay, what is a woman?
Okay,
If they want to play that.
Right.
If they want to play that game, So, but God, Rob.
But whenever somebody makes an allegation with these kinds of charges, there is something that has to be looked into. But at the same time, it makes, without any type of evidence, it makes people question that person's character. And we've talked about this on Pat's podcast. It's no longer if they want to ruin your life, they don't kill you. Whatever it is, whatever they are, the deep state,
Socially.
they will
it's
ruin
them.
your reputation. And look what they've done to Russell Brand so far. He's lost his manager. His tour has been canceled by the bookers. His podcast has been demonetized by YouTube. They cut out your way to earn a living. They silence you. Now, how do you go and defend yourself?
Yeah,
Right.
Also, and I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're
but
not.
Do you think he's just one of the many guys that? Because Joe Rogan's got to be in line right after him, right?
They already tried it. Remember, they
But the
tried.
problem is, didn't you say they're going after his? What is not Spotify, but it's his Apple. What
Well,
is it?
YouTube demonetized his podcast, and then I spoke with some event bookers who are close to the situation, and they said that the bookers, not Russell, the bookers canceled the dates for his tour.
And also, isn't that illegal to take his stuff off of YouTube? Because YouTube's taking this stuff
well,
off.
I don't know if demonetize means taking it. Brandon, you might know this better than me. I don't believe that demonetize means pulling the content. It means you can no longer monetize the
Make
content.
money.
So the content can still go up, but are you going to get shadow banned? So that if you do and go out and address, and I know he put out a preemptive strike, but if he goes and does a 3-hour podcast where he addresses these allegations, are you going to get throttled and are you going to get shadow banned so that people don't see it?
But like, what kind of taste does that put in your mouth where you're like, but mind you guys, just allegations. This is, like I said, somebody in the shadows going, he did this, he did that. I hate the saying, innocent until proven guilty. That shit does not exist. In this day and age, you are guilty and then you have to prove yourself.
Yep.
The guy, listen, I don't know. A lot of people were bringing up, the girl was 16 and he was 20-something. Guess what? The legal age of consent in England, and this is England's business, is 16 years old.
Yep.
I'm not condoning it. That's not my bag. I don't mess with that type of stuff. But it is what it is. But Robbie, you nailed it. To take away all that stuff without hearing anything, no day in court, no nothing. It's not.
I got one for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
When
And then
he
go
was
Brett.
on the left 15 years ago,
Big time.
he was a big star and he was doing all this stuff. Now he's speaking out against the left. They're like, let's go back 15 years to the stuff we know
Isn't
he
that
was
brilliant?
doing.
Isn't that crazy to
Take
show
him
you the
out.
beast?
You know, this makes me think of, remember when we were with Tate and he said the media is actually offering women money to come out and say
Yes.
something against
Yes.
them. So, you know, how many women are out there that will definitely hop at the opportunity to get 30 grand to say something about somebody they don't like to begin with?
Easy.
Right, because you can double down on your OnlyFans.
Oh,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like, but also, like, what I was going to say is, what they were doing with them is they're going to go after. They went after Russell Brand, but what is the reason why they're going after him? They didn't talk about that.
You know.
Do you know?
I know. You know.
Do you know?
exactly-
I don't.
Do you know a reason why?
I know. Well, I know. Do you know
ahead.
something
You-
different?
you-
Well,
you
know
go
something
ahead.
different. Tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Well, because I watch his show, bro. When I'm in the car, bro, I listen to a bunch of crazy stuff. I like to
Same.
hear him. And you nailed it, Kayvon. He would call Katie Hopkins. He stormed onto her show and called her Hitler. He called her like a Nazi.
Right.
So the shift, and and by the way, I respect the hell what he's doing to have all that money, to have all that fame, but be under there, just don't do nothing crazy, don't do nothing crazy. And the moment he's switching to wake us up, and there's multiple things. And Tucker Carlson said this. Tucker said, you criticize drug companies,
Big Pharma.
Big Pharma, and you question the war in Ukraine, it's a wrap. Because, Brady, I don't think people realize, I know you guys do, people don't realize, Robbie, we're talking trillions of dollars. The hell would, if you mess with $1 million company, you say something bad, they might bring you to court, defamation lawsuit, whatever. $1 trillion company, and you just watched Michael Clayton, the movie I told you to watch. If you don't think they have a system to go after your ass, and depending on how crazy you go and how much of the wallet you mess around with, they can send somebody to your house, squirt something in your drink, do something, and you're done, bro, and it's an accident. And the news cycle is so fast. Bye-bye. Nobody even gives a shit
You
about
could be paddleboarding.
Oh, yeah. In 8 feet of water, and you're an amazing swimmer.
Yeah.
And you're at a vineyard, and you're butt naked, and your clothes are 50 yards away.
Yeah.
Very, very weird things.
How about in the 60s, they had a laser they could point at you and give you a heart attack. That was the 60s.
The heart attack gun.
Or they had that
So what the hell
stuff
did
you
they do
said.
today if that was in the 60s?
Or they have that stuff you said they can blow in your face and make you do something that you didn't even know you were doing.
It's called scopolamine. There's a Vice documentary. It's in Colombia. It's a plant that they grind up and they do a certain white powder. The documentary is so amazing because a guy goes and scores it. It's a documentary. He has it in the car and he's trying to be funny with it. But this drug, if it hits your face, Rob, have you heard about scopolamine?
No.
It's called devil's breath. If they blow it in your face or put it in your drink, you're acting just like this. You're yourself. Hi, come here. You want a drink? But your free will is out of the window. So think about this. If you know how to use that, so people in the documentary, a female that they interviewed, she had her face covered. They sprayed it in her face. She went to her own apartment building, The doorman let everybody in, stole everything, and then left, took her money, took everything. Next morning, she wakes up and she goes to the door, the bellman. She's like, why did you let this happen? I saw the tape. He goes, you told me you were cool and you knew these people.
Yeah.
So it's
Terrifying.
crazy. Mind you, this is just a drug in a plant in Colombia.
Yeah.
And you nailed it. What do they have now? What
craziest thing.
It's insane. So I think with Russell, you know, you got to stay in line. And once you open your mouth, I give him respect, like I said. He's opening his mouth to wake up, bro. And my thing is this, Brady, if you wake up one person, a lot of people have this conversation like, why do you care, bro? Why are you in politics? Why do you? Because I give a damn. Those people that are, ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance is ignorance. You're ignorant. You're walking around just, oh, I'm going to put gas in my car. No, dude, come on. Like, if that's the problem, if we have enough people opening our mouths and saying shit, like if nobody went to work on Monday or nobody got gas, these things have to change.
Well, you know what's even scarier is the stuff that's happening on TikTok, and I know we'll jump on a different subject, but like I'll leave you on this, like the whole thing with Lahaina, right? They're talking about the laser, like they're talking about how we have lasers, basically they can just burn
Right,
it,
we have them.
can come out of it.
We have them.
But what's happening with, especially with Russell Brand, to tie it all back together, is they're taking this stuff, that information on TikTok, on Facebook, everything, and they're getting rid of it.
Yep.
They're getting rid of it.
Yep.
No one sees any of it.
Yep, it's
And
gone.
it's terrifying.
Yep.
So it's going to happen again. And then it's going to happen again.
Yep.
It's going to happen again. And people are like, what? It's literally like Men in Black. They're just going like this.
100%.
Every few seconds.
And Brandon, I'm going to go to you with this.
What's that?
I think this is what's happening with Russell Brand should be a wake-up call to the average American, to you guys, the regular people that are out there, because this guy's multimillionaire. He's still A-list, if you ask me. I mean, the guy goes out, paparazzi, it's banana, forget about it, right? If they can do this to him just because he's saying words out of his mouth, wait till you see what's happening with the centralized CBDC, the centralized banking currency, where everything is on it's all computer, no more cards, Brady's, to where now if you say something on Facebook or you comment somewhere you like, Brady, this guy is here. You're an ant compared to them. They just go off. Oh, he has friends like this?
Right.
In China, you know this, right? In
Your
China,
electric car, gone.
Oh yeah, in China, they have a facial recognition, and even if the way that you walk, if you jaywalk, they take money out of your. This is happening in real time. They take the money out of your account, and if you don't pay it, they not only shut your shit off, they shut off people around you that you know to ruin their lives.
Yeah.
But you know what's even scarier, and this is maybe a comedic element of it.
Yeah.
What if they didn't like the way you laughed at someone talking about them and they heard it, and you're like, and you get dinged?
Brady, that could
And
be
you're like,
Brady.
we don't like your face.
Brady,
possible.
I don't put
It's
it past
happening.
him.
The technology is possible.
Dude, and I don't put it past
That's some
them.
Black Mirror shit right
Yeah,
there.
dude, if you think about it, in North Korea, I'm pretty sure it was North Korea. This is the old school documentary I saw. If the military, if they walk into your house and you don't have Kim Jong-un's picture there, you're all going bye-bye. You're
done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
done.
done. You're in a work
Yeah,
concentration camp. And then yeah, Brendan. And then this went into what you were talking about their security, and they're finding them, and with the January 6th. With the Ray Epps thing.
Yeah.
It's all connect. They all know where you are. They all know where everybody's at. They found everybody on January 6th, but they found every single person that was there.
But
Go ahead.
they can't find cocaine in the White House.
No, there's no
Well,
camp.
they can find it. They can't figure out whose it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a
found
great
it.
point, Kayvon. They found everybody January 6th. And what pisses me off about the Ray Epps thing, and for you guys that don't know, Ray Epps, what they're saying is the FBI informant. I 100% believe in it.
yes.
He was there. Look it up for yourself. Basically, by the way, Fed shirt, Trump hat. He was yelling at everybody, telling everybody to storm the Capitol, which that's inciting a riot.
But also Christopher Wray couldn't even say. They asked him. They said.
I know.
They said, was there feds there? And he's like, I can't.
know.
I can't say yes or no. Also, there was Antifa there too.
Oh, dude, and Merrick Garland today just came out. And they were in Congress today. And
Yeah.
mind you, guess what he just got? He got charged with. Yeah, anybody know what?
Could be
Ray Epps?
anything, what?
Like domestic disturbance. He was just outside, like disorderly
course.
conduct. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
that guy, what was that
Proud-
guy's
Proud-
name?
Proud Boys guy.
The Proud Boys guy. Enrique
Emilio Shaman.
Tario got 22 years. Wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Think about
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Think about that for a second. But anyway, guys.
So cancel culture has all melted together now.
No, exactly. But guys,
yeah.
we're gonna be moving on to another story. If you guys have thoughts, comments, you guys have some stuff that you guys want to let us talk about next week, drop the comments below. We're gonna move on with Rob G. By the way, it's Rob Garguilo. Rob is told me before we came in here that he thinks Biden has dementia, which I 100% agree with. We're all not supposed to talk about it because he's old and cute. But Rob, what are you talking about?
Well, that's why I brought this to the table. So this week, President Trump actually spoke out, lashed out against President Biden's repeated false claims over the past few weeks, telling NBC's Meet the Press host, Kristen Welker, look at all the lies that Biden has told over the past couple of weeks. He said he was at the World Trade Center, and he wasn't. He said he flew airplanes. He didn't. He said he drove trucks, and he didn't. Everything he says is a lie. It's terrible. So I went and I asked our researcher, Emin,
Where's Emin at?
Bulgaria, Bosnia.
He's in a hut. He's in a hut somewhere.
Yeah.
He's in a hut.
Typewriter. That's how good he is. He can type this up on a typewriter and send it from Bulgaria by a pigeon carrier.
Pigeon carrier. Yeah, I love it.
So I asked him. I didn't think the list would be this big. I said, hey, could you go and do some research and find out some of the lies that have been fact-checked that President Biden has said over the 2.5 years that he's been in office?
Just 2.5 years.
What I got back a mere 3 hours later was...
Is that the stack, Rob?
69 pages of 250 lies. The authoritative list of lies Joe Biden has told his president. 250 and counting. So... Here's the thing. We either have a huge problem in this country. Either the President of the United States is a pathological liar.
Yes.
Or the President of the United States is mentally defunct. I'm not an expert in dementia, Alzheimer's.
Why can't it be both?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, he might
maybe
be.
it's a combination of both, which means we're double fucked. It's scary because you go and you look at the way that this administration treats people who are common sense thinkers.
Yeah.
You sit there and you watch this guy speak and you go, well, that's not right. And you watch the guy get lost on stage and you go, well, that's off. And then you watch the guy get handed cards that have directions. Sit here, speak then.
Order chicken.
He says outright to the American people, I do everything my handlers tell me.
Yes.
And then he concludes that with, I'm tired and need a nap. Now, that does not sound like somebody who was all there. So what I did was I went and I...
Emin is suicidal right now. Emin was like, I had to put more notes for Rob.
Or he's like, he better get to all this.
Yeah, no, I love Rob. I love this, by the way.
Because some of these are crazy, right? Biden, lie number 249, Biden says he taught classes at the University of Pennsylvania. Lie number 248, Biden says he visited Ground Zero the day after 9/11.
Yeah, he went to 7-Eleven.
The craziest one to me, besides the fact that he claimed that he ended cancer, that's lie number 240. 241, he claimed that there are 9 wonders of the world and cited the Grand Canyon as one. Right. But the one that bothers me the most is, where is it? 245, he said he lost his house in a fire. That was never true. 237, where Joe Biden lies about the death of his son, Beau. Now listen, I'm not saying that he lied about it, but if he did not realize that his son died at a military hospital in the United States and claims that his son died in Iraq, have any of you lost a child or any of you fathers?
No.
Okay. I am a father. I've lost a child. I remember everything about that loss. I remember the day. I remember the phone call that I got. I remember the week after. I remember every instance of what happened there. It changes you as a man. For him to not know where his son died and told people that his son died in Iraq, it makes me go, well, this guy clearly has something going on that's not right. And so for me, my question to you guys, I would like to list some of the signs of Alzheimer's and see, or I'm sorry, dementia. And you guys tell me if any of these sound like they're Joe Biden behaviors.
Okay.
One sign of dementia, memory loss. Frequent forgetfulness, especially regarding recent events and important dates.
I'm going to go with yes for 200.
Okay, so out of 4 people, everybody here agrees. Another one, difficulty with communication, including struggling to find words, repeating oneself, or failing to follow or join conversation.
Right
I did.
Yeah. You have dementia, Robert.
But do you guys ever do you watch him and go, that guy leads our country up, or do you watch that guy and go,
no,
ooh, I'm waiting for this to fall apart?
You know what? And I had no idea that you were going to even bring this up today. Today when I was at the gym, I was in my head, I was thinking, okay, I was trying to go back. When I was a kid, I remember them not making fun of Reagan, but the way he talked, they did impressions of him. But then now, as I got older, I met like Bush Jr., terrorists, and the terrorists. They made fun of how he spoke, and I knew that he wasn't smart and it was like a joke that
Yeah.
everybody kind of got on. They made fun of him, SNL, whatever. This is a whole different situation because by the way, his head different. I know he's had 2 brain surgeries. He has had
Joe
aneurysms.
Biden?
2 strokes or
His
2
2
aneurysms.
brain aneurysms. He's had surgery. His eyes, he's always squinting. Dude, his hands are doing this certain thing. He's 100% compromised in the mind, and I think in other situations with Ukraine and China. But Rob, here's my thing. We know it. Everybody else knows it. Is it the left's just die hard? We don't give a damn, just as long as it's not Trump and because it's obvious. Do you think that their hatred for this guy is so strong they don't even give a damn? And that's my one question. And the
Yes.
follow-up: Who is they, Rob? When the president of the United States says, and many times, they said I can't do this. My handlers told me, and that's the second part. Answer the first one, please, and then do that one.
Okay.
Who the hell is they?
Okay, so the first question was. I forgot.
You have dementia.
What was the
Rob
first
has
question?
dementia.
I do. What was the first question?
The first one is is the left's hatred for Trump so much?
Yes.
That much.
I think it's gotten to the point in this country where there is a large, and you're speaking to one of them. In 2020, and I'm not proud of this, my mother will disown me if I announce this publicly, I voted for Joe Biden.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. And I regret it every day. I'm also a Fed. But here's the thing. I was one of those people that didn't pay attention to policy, and I only paid attention to personality. That was my mistake. In the past 2.5 years, I stopped paying attention to personality, and I started paying attention to policy, and the policies that Biden has instituted in this country, both for the citizens and abroad for the world with funding certain wars that we're not involved in, has not made my life better. Now, when I look back between 2016 and 2020, I was able to afford my rent, I was able to afford gas, I was able to pay for my groceries, and then on top of all of my expenses, I was able to put money into a 401k. I was able to put money into savings. Now I have a bunch of different jobs, right?
Yeah.
I work at Value Team and I got side hustles. I am working 3, 4, 5 jobs some weeks, and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. And this company pays me more than I've ever made in my entire adult
And it's
life.
still crazy.
And it's still at the point with inflation and certain policies that the Biden administration has put in place that have put people like me into a position where you got to work 5 jobs just to be able to pay the bills.
How many? So you're married, Rob? How many kids?
2.
2 kids. And holy crap, it's barely making ends meet with all the stuff
Correct.
you have.
So I speaking as one of those people that it can't be Trump, it can be anybody else but Trump. Look at who I voted for, and they fooled me. They
Well, they still
It's
are.
not
They still are. And I'm
Yeah,
saying,
but I want to let him finish.
Sorry.
I want to hear this.
They hit him. They hit him from the American public. During the 2020 campaign, Biden was doing rallies in the back of Jeeps in a parking lot with 4 other Jeeps. It was always Jeeps. And it made me, I was like,
funny.
why is it always Jeep? But it was him going out and speaking for 2 minutes. And at that point, you're like, okay, all right, this guy seems like he has it together. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. Nice guy, Joe. I got duped because I voted for him, and now to this day I regret it. And so I look at a large percentage of people in this country, and it cannot be Trump. It has to be anybody but him. And I don't think it's going to be if Biden gets reelected, it's not going to be for another 5 years. He's not going to do the next 5.5 years. It'll be him until 2024-ish. Something will happen, and then they will usher in Kamala Harris or Kevin McCarthy.
Hillary Clinton.
I don't know, but
You watch.
I would no
100%.
But how did she get in?
I wouldn't say 100%. I would
100%.
much more believe, because Gavin Newsom just came out and said he's not running. Hold on. He is the most presidential looking, I'm not going to run guy. But still, at the end of the day, and guys, this is my opinion.
You guys have the same hair, by the way.
Oh, by the way, Kayvon, if Kayvon had my hair,
Yes.
you could play him easy.
Holy
but
shit.
You got to watch out. He's got that gravelly voice too.
Yeah, like he's been yelling, but and this is my opinion. Like I said, I think I talked to Kelly about this, where I said we were talking about why would Tucker Carlson have who's the guy, the gay guy? Larry Sinclair.
Yeah.
Sinclair.
You guys really, Pat made me think of this, and me and Kelly talk about it. Take a step back. Why would a guy, the most popular news guy right now, Twitter, millions, hundreds of millions of impressions and views, why would you bring a gay crackhead from the 80s? He's a gay crackhead. He's still gay, guys.
As opposed to the son's president, who's a straight crackhead.
Exactly. Who's a straight crackhead, and bring him. And I really, dude, I really Pondered, great word, by the way. That was one of the words from my vocabulary thing app.
Fantastic.
Why would you bring him on there? Maybe Tucker knows something that he's been hearing behind closed doors. Because think about it, Obama was silent. I haven't heard nothing of people. And the day that story came out, Brandon, Michelle Obama flew to some other country with this is totally random, Italy, with a gay couple. Think about, you can't make this up. And they're MIA, they're not speaking. I think Tucker did that to bring some ammunition, because if Michelle Obama comes out of nowhere and goes, I'm gonna run, don't shake your head yet because you said 100% for the other one. I'm gonna run. Now guess what Tucker has done? Tucker has made this story come back to life, and now they have to address it. Like, that'd be the first question. They don't have the balls to do it. Hey, Barack, really quick. Larry St. Clair, you think he's lying? He passed a lie detector test and signed an affidavit. Oh, but he did crack and was arrested. Okay, put that to the side.
So did you.
So did you. How? Yeah, exactly. You can't pass a lie detector test.
He's Obama's new chef.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
May I answer your second question? You asked
Please, yeah, then we're going to move on.
Who is they? That was the question
Who
that
is
you
they?
asked me.
When you hear him say they, them, and I know it's the deep state, who are they because they're handling him?
So to answer that, and I've never been a good versus evil type of person.
Okay.
You know, I never thought the world played out like that. I always thought there was good in everybody. I think over the past 3 to 4 years, I've really noticed in the world that there is forces of good that are fighting forces of evil.
Genuine,
and
Bob. Genuine evil.
Yes, and I think you look at people like George Soros, who continues to fund district attorneys in cities where they remove bail. They remove any type of criminal penalties for thefts under $1,000. And you go, why would somebody put their money towards these initiatives? There's only one reason: to make this country worse.
Burn.
So there are bad people out there, and is it George Soros that is behind this? I don't know, but more than ever, and whether it's God versus the devil or it's right versus wrong, there are forces of evil at play in this world, and there are good forces. And I think that's the good part that we need to focus on, or that there is good. And if you just focus on the evil, that evil wins. But if you can band together the good can always beat the evil.
I love that. What's up, Brandon?
Yeah, no, so I think the simplest way to look at this is that it's a competition of globalists versus non-globalists, because all the people that are on that side of things, they deeply hate America, and to get what they want out of what they want the world to be, they have to weaken America to the point where they could do the one world situation, which, we'll touch on all the CBDC stuff later, but they cannot do anything they want to do if America's the strongest country in the world, because America ultimately controls what the world policy is and sets the policy for the world. But the globalist movement can't take form if America's the strongest.
Do you believe America is the strongest country in the world?
100%.
Do
It's not
you?
even close.
I do. Right now, no, I don't.
Vinny?
I think
Not greatest, strongest. Militarily,
It's not even close.
I think we've been bought. I think right now we're the weakest we've ever been. I think we're the weakest we've ever been. Our open borders, our military is all they're transitioning, or they're all
Dude, we spend more than the next 20 countries combined.
What scares me is we're losing what what is it?
F-35 fighter.
$85 million plane.
We can't even find a plane. The guy jumps up, we can't find it. And then we go spy balloons.
Well,
we're like, wow, hey, and then Joe Biden. There's a different looking Joe Biden every time.
I'm not gonna lie, he does look kind of.
He might be a clone.
He might be. Listen, I saw
a retarded clone.
Look at me, camera one. Look at me. He's a clone.
By the way,
They fucked
and I'm
up the clone.
by the way, and I'm.
Well, if you've ever seen the movie Multiplicity with
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton,
Yeah.
where they keep getting close and they keep getting dumber and
Yes,
dumber and
exactly.
dumber. That's this.
Yeah, Kabbalah
No,
too.
God, you still move.
The movie with Jamie Foxx that just came out. Did you see that? That's creepy as hell. Do you know the whole thing that just happened with Jamie Foxx?
Well, yeah,
she
he was-
disappeared. He
looks
was talking,
different.
then he disappeared.
Yeah,
Right?
he looks-
Same thing with Kanye.
What about John Fetterman? He's like.
He's a mustache.
Oh my
guy.
God!
his
The fact
head-
that he got elected is insane.
The Fetterman. By the way, do you guys realize that because this guy is just like, and they're like, wear hoodies. They changed the rule for
The
him.
Senate.
The Senate. They're like, dude, John's signing shit. He's probably signing it in crayons. Just keep doing what we want. Wear shorts. We don't care. Poop in your pants.
Dude, Vinny, he shows up in outfits that would get you kicked out of a nice country club.
He couldn't walk in here without. He can escort out Jorge. Take him out. No,
He's literally Office Space 2.
Yeah.
He's coming in just gutting fish at his fucking
Dude, if you think about it, Patrick Bet-David, the CEO, if you wore that to the office, he would like go home and change.
Yeah.
Real talk. Dude, that is so freaking funny.
It's funny you say that. I got off a late flight, came straight to the office.
Yeah.
I was in sweatpants because I like to fly comfortably. And Mario came up to me and goes, "Oh, we're wearing pajamas to work these days." And I went, "No, sir." And I went, like,
all the time I wear shorts and flip flops because I thought we
Oh,
were done.
dude.
Oh my God.
He goes, this is like my third day.
Oh
and
my
he goes,
God.
Brady?
and he's like, Pat's like, what's up with the guys with flip
Yeah, dude. I think, but by the way, because Pat's a professional. Brady, by the way, he's been here 3 days. He has no idea. The hotel.
I never go back to the room.
The hotel is by the beach. It's the Diplomat. I
Yeah.
can see where.
Yeah.
And mind you, not just shorts. You can kind of see the hair from his testicles kind of hang out. They're short, and he's wearing like flip flop, like
I
not.
hate flip-flops.
And where was he? Was he in the lobby? Was he
He's
going
in the
to-
lobby and
I was
Pat's
backstage.
backstage, and he's walking around. Just that, like the white. Hold on, Brady.
Yeah.
Chewing gum, has no idea oblivious. And you ever have a friend that you know is messing up? It's like a friend that doesn't want people wearing shoes in
Yeah,
their house.
you know
Yeah.
Brady, wait a second. He's just trying to jump in. Wait.
All right, my bad.
Jesus Christ. He's like he's on cocaine. And you're the one that we're talking about. So I see Brady walk in, Pat's there, Brady's there, and in my head I'm like, I can't believe he's wearing I'm gonna hear about this the moment we leave. Pat's like, so, what's up with the guy with flip-flops? I go, that's like new to me. Go ahead, Brady. Go ahead.
I think you hit everything on point.
Yeah. Flip-flop guy, but okay,
I
that's
hate
so.
flip-flops, by the
Mark,
way.
No.
we're on
Just so
agreement.
we-
Joe
just so
Biden
we
has
all know.
dementia.
Yeah, Joe Biden
Yeah,
has
yeah.
dementia and he might be a clone. But all right, guys.
circle.
Moving on to our next topic. Brady, who's dying to talk.
I'm sorry. Listen,
No, it's okay, Brady.
I
Brady,
apologize.
you like to talk. It's not. I'm not
I
even
apologize.
mad about that. We're gonna go to
My
Brady. Brady,
Where's
something.
Christy so she can hit me in the head?
Brady,
Where's she?
Trump, time travel. You mentioned something like this. You sent me the link. I couldn't believe it. Brady, let everybody know what you're talking about.
All right, so I don't know if it's as interesting as Joe Biden having dementia, but I mean, maybe he wants to take the time machine to go back and figure it out. But I saw this. I don't know. Sometimes I see stuff on TikTok, and I thought it was really like it's
TikTok story, but you
It's
look,
awful.
but you did research. Go
Can I
ahead.
talk?
Yeah.
So no, I thought this was interesting. So there's a book out that's called Barron Trump's Marvelous Adventures. Have you ever heard of this?
I have.
Have you? But you know what I'm talking about.
I've heard
in terms of,
I've heard what you're talking
Well, let
about.
us know what year and what's going on.
So here's the thing: is like what I find was so interesting. So how this book starts is Barron finds this portal and he does like time traveling, right? And his mentor, when he's time traveling, have you heard of this at all?
I have. The book.
Tell the
Okay,
story,
so
tell
I
it, say
am.
it.
Stop. So here's the thing. So the book, he's guided like this guy, like his mentor's name is Don, which is crazy. This is an actual book that came out in 1883. What? Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is an actual book.
It is weird.
Swear to God. And so, so they said that during this book, one of Don's friends in the book, his last name is Pence.
Dude, this is.
Which is like you can't make this stuff up, right? So the author of this book made another book back then, and he said there's an unlikely candidate who's going to win the presidential election who wins on Fifth Avenue.
Oh my. Dude,
Like,
and this is a fact that this was written in the
This
1800s.
is actually
Yeah.
written. Yeah,
Dude,
it's
that
actually
is
written.
that is kind of
And I'm not,
creepy and
hold on,
trippy.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. So also, Donald Trump's uncle had a connection with Nikola Tesla back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the FBI took Tesla's documents when he died,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this
took his
part's crazy.
documents, and the guy that was in charge of the documents was John Trump.
Yep.
Dude, that
So documents went missing. So the documents went missing because they were looking for a death ray, which brings me back to Lahaina, which brings me back to how did they get this technology? So I mean, if you can tie that back in somehow, but I don't know. this is
But
really
that's
just cut my segment out.
No,
altogether.
Brady, it's just funny. Like Brady, like your electric car is not going to turn on now because you're like, this is
100%.
crazy.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't afford one anyway. So,
Yeah.
no, but so the documents went missing, and so they believe that they used it for time travel because how do you come up with all these coincidences, and then it's all under Trump? You know what I'm saying? So,
How crazy! And Brady, this is going on. Brandon, say what you're going to say.
Yeah, so that part is the most compelling part of it. So Trump's uncle or whoever it was, he knew how to operate that stuff too because he worked at MIT and I think he was a consultant for the police or something. Like they have him come in and look at this stuff and tell him what everything was and whatnot. So it's not like he was just some guy who found it. He was a guy who potentially was smart enough to operate the stuff like once he found it. And there's no doubt that Nikola Tesla was the smartest person who's ever lived. Like Einstein said that, all the smart people have said that. That's not even close.
but also the thing that brings it back to is like, do you remember the Simpsons episode?
Yeah.
When
He's
Trump's
coming
going down the escalator?
Yeah.
And then do you remember the girl's sign fell? Have you
Everything
seen this,
was-
Kayvon?
Oh,
you
dude.
You have never seen this?
No.
It's
the creepiest thing ever. This actually happened, but this is a Simpsons episode that happened before this actually happened.
Simpsons are experts at predicting.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
but hold on.
Yeah.
How did
Creepy
it?
too.
Come on.
To tie it
How?
all back to time travel is Matt groaning. Again, it comes back to Simpsons. Simpsons have predicted a lot of this stuff. That's not coincidental. It's all stuff that has actually happened before it happened.
Dude,
how
that's-
does Matt Groening know this stuff? When the lasers, all that stuff that happened,
Yeah.
burning cities, it happened. The 9/11 little poster, it all happened.
It's crazy. So let me ask you guys a question though. Do you guys believe, like, in your heart of hearts, time travel and all that stuff, different dimensions, Rob, and everything is true? And I want to go around and ask, honestly, because that story's compelling as shit.
Different dimensions, I do believe in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about time travel. And I have no basis to believe in either one or disprove either one. But I've heard enough people talk about different dimensions where I go, okay, I could see how that could exist, where there's this replica, but instead of Brandon sitting there, he's sitting here.
Gotcha, yeah,
and
yeah.
instead of you being
Yeah.
there, you're here.
Multiple realities.
Yes.
Okay.
But as far as time travel, I don't know.
So how would you explain? Because I'm baffled. In 1800, they wrote this book, all the names, all the situations, everything, and it happens.
I
in
don't
real
know
life.
about that. I can tell you, when it comes to The Simpsons, yes, there are a lot of odd things. But you also have to remember that The Simpsons have been on for 30 years.
Yeah.
So the amount of things that, yes, they've predicted a handful of things that have come true. The amount of things that they've predicted that have not come true, it's got to be outrageous because there's 30 years. And think about that. How many episodes a season? 20 episodes a season. So you're looking at 600 episodes. That's a lot of, and that's what, 30 minutes an episode. So you're talking about 1,200 hours of content. I'm sure that they've made some predictions that came true. I'm sure that they've also made some that haven't.
Kevin, what do you think? You believe in that?
You know, do you remember when Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith?
Yeah.
Yes.
So some Indian kid made a video as if it had happened 5 years ago, and he aged the film, and then he went up and he showed like some guy slapped him,
Yeah.
and then he put it out like, this happened to me, this is all set up, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
I fell for it.
in my mind, there's a chance that this book was written after, tweaked, and then said this is from the 1880s, and now we're falling down the wrong rabbit hole.
But there is weird stuff.
I'm a
like,
skeptic.
a week ago, like along the lines of what you're talking about, a week ago, a guy predicted before Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles
Yes,
tendon.
yeah, I
He
saw
tweeted
that.
out that Aaron Rodgers was going to tear
the
his
fourth
Achilles
play.
tendon. Yeah, like it was
That's
crazy.
so strange.
That it like the amount of detail and accuracy into putting that tweet out, and it ends up being exactly true.
That is crazy.
Well,
Brandon, what are you thinking?
yeah, so this makes me automatically think of, so the CIA has invested heavily in people who could not only telepathically like connect to things, but like look into the future. I forgot the exact terminology of it, but like if the CIA is investing money into people who have these powers to some degree, see to the future, you know, it's like the people talk about psychics and whatnot, it's a crazy thing, but the CIA has people that do that, and I forgot the term of it.
Remote
but-
viewing.
Yeah, I think it's something along
Yeah,
the lines of
remote viewing.
But yeah, so it's a thing that they take seriously, and there's people out there who could do it. So who knows if there's just people who could see the future to a degree or whatnot.
And I put nothing-
Maybe
yeah.
somebody like that was writing those books. You know, it could be something along those lines. So yeah, I think there's people out there who could see the future.
That's crazy.
CIA confirmed.
And that's my thing is I don't know, but I never put anything off the table. At this part of my life, this stage, with everything I've seen from the military and just with my regular eyes and watching the news and people and everything, people don't realize, like when you say CIA or FBI or even deeper, the organization that you'll never even know that exists,
Yeah.
underground bases,
Black budget.
stuff, and mind you, underground bases that are literally, I don't know if you guys remember Phil Schneider. You guys ever heard of
Yeah.
Phil Schneider?
Yeah.
So he was a geologist that was working for the government, GES, whatever, like top secret, the craziest clearance. His job was building bases that went 1 mile down, they drilled a hole, and then they blew out rock, and they would build bases down there. And this guy,
DUMBs, they call them, like deep underground military bases.
people on the so but we haven't, the average American, you haven't scratched the surface on
Yeah.
what, you know, people always, mind you, we don't know the information, we don't have any clearance, and they're so professional at getting rid of any rumors that, bro, aliens, who knows, you still don't know, yes or no. nobody knows.
Yeah.
They're so good at their secrecy.
Imagine how crazy it is though, with the stuff that we do know a little bit of, it's already mind blowing. So like, and that's probably 1 to 5% of it. So imagine all the crazy possibilities.
And here's my thing. What would you do if they showed, like, Brady, they showed you something where you're like, your brain would blow up.
The Mexican
I'd
governor,
wanna
they
see
came
it, I
out and
think.
showed they opened the
alien thing was
and then
hilarious.
I saw a funny meme where it was wedding cake. Yeah.
I saw another funny one. It was like, listen, aliens, question mark, it's Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi just taking a nap. They were just like, because I want to move on to the next topic, which I think it's going to be Kayvon, right? But so the alien thing, just really fast. Yeah. The alien thing, I can't wait to hear yours. It's been around forever. All these sightings are happening. Everybody's talking about it. The whistleblowers came out, the national, like, this is up your alley, Brandon. Those 2 guys, whistleblowers. In the mafia, they call them snitches. The whistleblowers came out and they're like, we've recovered vehicles. I've seen aliens. This is in Congress, Brady. And guess what the American public did? Whatever, Kim Kardashian has a new season. Nobody cares. So, Brandon, I'm going to go to you first. Do you think it's real? And now, because of the internet and the cat's out of the bag? Or do you think there's something deeper for them at play? Because you mentioned the New World government, and to bring a new world government, you have to have a threat that's not from here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so this prompts a few things. One of them is the Operation Bluebeam that we always talk about. Bluebeam, yeah. So it's always been a thing that's been rumored that the government might put out that there's a UFO attack someday to get people to stay at home or whatever. Just have some futuristic looking ships, and they, you could kind of do whatever you want at that point. If the people aren't complying, or like blow them up, and like, oh, it was the UFO. That's why you should stay inside. And what else? So in the sense of whether or not they're real, I think probably real. More likely teleport like through wormholes and stuff than like come from somewhere in the solar system, because it's too big, it's too far of a travel.
So you think it's gonna be a setup?
Yeah, and I had one other point, but you could move on.
Rob, what do you think? I can't wait to hear what Rob said.
I took an astronomy class in college, and I really didn't understand how big the universe was. I always knew about our solar system. I knew that there were other solar systems, but when you actually learn about how big the universe is and how it continues to expand, the idea that we are the only life form in it is ignorant. Yeah. Because it's saying that this planet is the only planet that can sustain life, but every day there's a new article that comes out about them finding a planet that could be hospitable to life. I believe, similar to what you believe, that there are some type of intelligent life form outside of our world that travels here through portals or wormholes or time travel. I don't believe the ones that they showed in Mexico are real.
And not at all.
I give more credit to the family in Las Vegas, if you remember. The family where
that was creepy.
They had the aliens in the backyard. They were hiding behind the excavators.
Yep.
I mean, even think about, we talked about the Chinese spy balloons. If you remember, they shot a spy balloon down over Lake Erie and never released the video of what it was or told the American public what they actually shot down.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there are other visitors coming to this planet. I don't know if they have good intentions or bad. I hope good.
It was like 5 in a few days. No, it was like 5 in a few days too, and they were calling them UFOs at one point. That happened the same time as the balloon, but there was like 5 other instances where they shot things down.
It was over like a course of 4 days where it was like they shot down 1. Oh my God, they shot down 3 in one day, and then they go, okay, this was a spy balloon. This one was a spy balloon. We're not so sure what the one over the Great Lakes was, but we'll get back to it. And then guess what? Just like you said, people are like, oh, the Kardashians, Kourtney's pregnant with Travis Barker's baby. Forget about the aliens.
Well, what's more powerful than censorship is information overload. It's because people are just doused with information all day. That's more powerful than withholding information from people. Because if you're withholding information from people, like you would in maybe the 50s, people are constantly looking for things. And if something comes out, it's the biggest thing ever. People are probably talking about the JFK thing for like years. But today, the craziest thing could happen, and people move on in 3 days because of how much crazy things happen every day.
The news cycle is so fast.
And we had General Michael Flynn, who talked about 5th generation warfare, and part of that was exhausting people with information.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. You've said it, that you're tired of hearing about, well, Biden's son did this and Biden's son did that. When is it going to be held accountable? People are getting to that point where they're exhausted from it, so they move on. They go, you know what? I really don't care if he got caught with coke or got caught with hookers.
Yeah.
Or got caught.
Like, what's the matter?
Nothing's going to happen.
They're
I'm moving on to something that makes me happy, like fuzzy little animals on Instagram.
Yeah, and this is my opinion. I genuinely think, because you can't just come out, the government, and be like, yo, aliens. No. You gotta test. Yo, aliens, like a mafia guy. That'd be funny. Hey, yo, guys, the president, aliens. No, but Brady, think about this. You know what you have to do? You have to get them ready. Maybe, just maybe, you gotta test them out. You gotta see if lockdowns will work. You gotta see if they'll listen. You gotta see if for 2.5 years they'll shut up and put needles in their body. You know what we do? Why don't we have a virus come out from a country, from a lab that we own? This virus comes out. It hits everybody. Coordinated media, everything. Oh my God. Who's the first guy that had it? Tom Hanks. Oh my God. Let's get the scare, get the needle, let's make the money. Not only do we make money, now we know, big scare, lockdown immediately, everybody falls in line, and guess what? After the 2.5-year mark, that's when they start questioning, and then bro, that to me is a great movie in itself. Just something that would happen to lock people down to do like an exercise, and guess what? It worked. It worked. It's still working to this day. I was at the gym today and some asshole, I'm sorry I had to cuss, he's wearing a mask up to here and sunglasses, and I had to stop, and I looked at him and I went like this. What are you doing?
Did he take one out and give one to you?
Yeah. But you know what I mean, though.
Well, when he goes in the locker room with that outfit on, you don't know what he's looking
Dude,
at.
what exactly? What are you looking at in there? But okay, so Kayvon, speaking, since you made a little funny thing right there.
Yeah.
Kayvon,
Funny thing right there.
a little funny. No, I was doing an Italian character before.
did a little
funny thing. Let me go to you.
I actually wrote that down. Italian White House press secretary. I would
Oh,
love
that'd
this.
be hilarious.
I love this
Like,
guy.
and it's like, but what Scaramucci was the guy, right? Scaramucci.
Yeah, but
he was like, yeah. But they're like, you're too Guido. Get the hell
Yeah, he was
out.
there for 6 days.
He was there for 6 days. He's like, I'll take you and I'll take that microphone and shove it up your beep. Okay. All right. So Kayvon, we spoke earlier about Hasan Minhaj. I don't know if
Yes.
I'm saying it right.
Hasan Minhaj.
Hasan Minhaj. He's a comedian.
Hasan the spinach.
Yeah, he's had some. He was in the news recently for talking about race and everybody being racist because everybody loves a victim. Oh my God!
Yeah.
So Kevin, what can you tell us about Hasan Minhaj?
If you're on the left, you are addicted to victimhood. And can you guys describe what happened with Jussie Smollett? Do you remember what happened?
I remember. So Juicy Smollett.
Smollett.
Juicy Smollett was an actor.
He was just trying to go to Subway to get some food.
At 2:30 in the morning, there was some MAGA guys were saying the N-word to him,
Yes.
and they had a news.
They poured bleach on his
They
skin.
poured bleach on his skin.
and they
by
said,
the way,
welcome to MAGA country.
welcome to MAGA country, and obviously, and he had two brothers.
So I'm a skeptic, and the media's first take on that was, this definitely happened. How could this happen in this country? They made him like a cover story, like, this is what's going on.
America's bad.
Had there been two white males walking out that night in Chicago, with red hats
Downtown,
on,
yeah,
they would
sure.
have been murdered immediately
Yeah.
because of this thing he started. Okay, now we move on to Hasan Minhaj. This addiction to being a victim is very powerful on the left. If you say the kind of jokes that I say on stage, there's no Netflix special at the end of the tunnel. There's no, here, you can go on the Daily Show.
Yeah.
But if you say, I'm a Muslim guy from India, and I grew up, and I want to tell you what he said in his comedy special.
Please.
His comedy special is more of a one-man show, not really punchlines and jokes.
Yeah, not a
And
real comedian, he's a
and he's
performer.
not bringing the country together with his jokes. He's kind of dividing. It's more activism through fake comedy.
Gotcha.
So he goes on stage and he said, one of the things he said was, you know, I did the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and there was a seat for Jamal Khashoggi because he was murdered. And then
Whoa.
Donald Trump's son-in-law came and sat there and just started eating shrimp cocktail. And everyone's like, no, what are you doing? That seat's not for you. Totally fake story.
Oh my God.
So that's just to divide, you know, but it made everyone laugh. Haha, Trump is an idiot. Just one more thing. Then we go on. He said a cop infiltrated his mosque when he was a kid. He was like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
And the cop went to the mosque and pulled him and his dad finally out of their home while they're eating dinner, put their head on the hood of the police car and said, search this house.
Wow.
These must be the terrorists.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's like, that's what's happening in America. And
this is all in this
in different comedy
Gotcha,
specials.
gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And he's like, is this what's fair in America? Maybe if you vote for Trump.
Applause.
Applause. Like, that's a
God, I
joke.
hate that.
Right?
weak.
He's
Let's
a
move
hack.
on. Let's
He's a
move.
hack.
And I want you guys to vote on which is worse of all these. The next one was, he said that he asked a girl to go to prom. And the girl's like, to be honest, okay, I guess. And when he showed up, the mom came to the door and said, oh, Hasan, she's not going with you. You're a brown child. And there's no way we're going to have brown people in the photo with our daughter at prom.
Shut up.
And this girl, he shows her face. He does a PowerPoint
Yeah.
comedy.
Oh,
He's like,
God.
and there she is, wouldn't go to prom with me.
What a hack.
Whatever her name is.
Just some random picture?
He's
No,
such
it's
a
her.
hack. It's her. The actual girl?
girl that he went to high school with.
Oh.
She got death threats. She got doxxed. She got angry Muslims coming after
Can
her.
he sue her for
She
like, that's-
sue him? No, it's nothing he can do because it's
What
creative.
the hell?
But these
Wow.
aren't
What a
jokes.
scumbag.
And the final one was, this is the one I think is the worst. You guys can vote. He said he had a newborn baby, but he got the Daily Show because he's a Muslim from India. A bunch of white supremacists mailed him anthrax as a death scare. It was a fake anthrax. It dumped on the baby's head while he's holding it, opening his mail. He had to rush his newborn baby to the hospital, and the baby turned out it was not real anthrax.
Baby powder or something.
It
So
was
it's
just
completely-
baby
it was
powder.
completely made
So
up.
he went home, but his wife told him, your job should not kill our baby. So whatever you're saying out there, maybe you need to stop having freedom of speech. And his big punchline is, but I don't care. I'm going to keep speaking freely.
Oh my God.
Yay, so funny.
Oh my.
Fake.
All.
He was just opening
Provably
mail
fake.
and he goes, hey babe, what if this was powder? She
Oh
goes,
my
you should
God,
do a story about that in your one-man play. And his final excuse was, all of these things speak to my emotional truth of what could happen in America.
What a
So we don't call
scumbag.
him Jussie Smollett, we call him Muzzy Smollett,
Muzzy?
the Muslim Jussie.
Dude, I
long did he
like.
get
By the
away
way,
with this?
this is all factual. This is all said that
Oh,
I have
the New
zero.
Yorker had to release it. Now, why do you think this is coming out? Because the left doesn't usually eat their own.
Yeah.
I found out why, in my opinion. The Daily Show is trying to make a comeback.
Yeah.
They got rid of Trevor Noah.
Horrible comedian.
It's down to the top 3, and Hasan is one of them. So I feel like one of the other 2 told him, you're going down. Yeah, that's what happened.
How long
Wow.
did he get away with this for?
For about 7 years.
Wow, that's a crazy run.
Well, and
It's
I looked up his age. He's 37 years old, so he's my age. And when a junior in high school would have been 2003. So while I can,
No. He would have been a junior in high school back in 1999.
37. I'm 37. I was
Yeah.
a junior in high school. I graduated high school in
Yeah, no,
2004.
that doesn't add up.
Oh, okay.
So he 2003, which after 9/11,
Yeah.
I could very much see where a story like that could happen because there was this anti-Muslim sentiment in the United States. Now, I'm not saying that it did happen, but I could see where it could happen because they were investigating mosques. There was this, hey, we're under attack in this country. Look what they did in New York. We have to protect every American citizen. So look, we signed away our rights with the Patriot Act.
100%.
So they were going in and doing things like that. But then to turn around and blame that on Donald Trump, something that happened, Donald Trump was still running casinos in Atlantic City in 2000.
He was time traveling.
So for you to be able to sit there and turn around and pinpoint that on Trump, it blows my mind. I could connect and see the dots where it could happen, but where you bring Trump in is such a leap.
Well, he read a news story about an FBI informant that got into a mosque and exposed a few of the brothers that were up to no good.
Yeah.
That story was down in San Diego. He lives in Davis, California, up north. And that guy, he shows the FBI agent on his slideshow and goes, and that's the guy who infiltrated my mosque and put my dad's head on the hood of the
my
car.
God.
What a jerk. Screw you, brother Eric. Well, this guy is a real person. He's like, I never worked Davis, and I didn't start on the force for 4 years after that time. That
Bro,
he's saying
this
that
is an exposure. Like, what a.
yeah.
This
so
reminds me.
Whoopi Goldberg goes on TV and says, all comedians lie. What is the wrong?
No.
We all exaggerate. Why do people...
Says the
Listen,
black girl that's last name is Goldberg, and she's
Goldberg.
not Jewish.
Yeah, her real name is Karen Johnson.
Yeah.
She picked the name Whoopi Goldberg because she farts a lot, she said.
And her mother-
because
You're full
of shit right now.
No.
But wait,
Karen Johnson.
Karen
is
Johnson.
By the way,
Wait,
hold on one second. She never married a guy named Goldberg.
No.
Why do you think her name is Goldberg?
She made
changed
it Goldberg because she's racist. She knew by acquiring a Jewish last name, she could get more famous because more
1000%.
Jews would pick her to be
And
in
back then,
Hollywood.
nobody questioned that, bro. You don't question that. First of all,
Karen Elaine Johnson, known professionally as Whoopi Goldberg.
you never knew that.
Conspiracy
You
theorist?
just,
Yeah.
I got red pills.
Yeah, wake up, dude. And mind you,
insane.
and Kayvon, amazing story. You just was a fan of his comedy. I knew him in LA, but that is some shady victimhood attitude, which I've seen happen before, like with Steve Renanzizi. He was like,
I was in 9/11.
9/11.
Yes.
I was there and I was running. And by the way,
Look at his career now.
yeah, but I mean, whatever.
But-
why would you lie
No,
about
I want to defend comedians because Vinny and I and Brady, and of course Rob, we tell jokes on stage, but my jokes are never to be like, and here's how you know it's racist what he did. If I swap the races and we have something like this where I go, there were Muslims that used to try to kill me every day when I left school because I'm a redneck. Oh, and I'll tell you another thing. There's a black guy every day who would mail me weapons and things to warn me that he's going to kill me soon.
God.
How long would Whoopi go, he was just kidding, y'all. He's just speaking to his emotional truth.
No,
it'd be like, get him down, cancel him. He's racist
Yo, what's
and all
that
that.
noise in the back?
Yeah.
What is that, Peter? Peter's playing. Are you playing cards in there? But no, and there's also another. And I don't know. You would know this, and you would know this. You probably will. And this is again going for the victim. I'm a victim. Who is the guy? It was a black dude from LA that was like, hey guys, I got cancer. He went on Ellen, Quincy
Jones.
Quincy Jones. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, Quincy Jones was like, dude, he went on Ellen, and bro, I was crying for the guy, and then everything
Ellen
was
got him an HBO special.
HBO special. Ellen, when you make Ellen, it's a wrap, right? And then all of a sudden he's like, guys, I'm cured. And he was cured. The cancer went away, and then what was his attitude, Kayvon?
Well, and I don't know if he took medicine.
Me neither.
But his whole thing was, people are mad I didn't die from cancer.
Yeah.
But the whole point of him getting the special was, I don't have much longer, and this is my last thing, and I want this
I actually
before.
remember that. Yeah.
And we've had all kinds of comedians pulling stuff. So I just think it's a huge, comedians do exaggerate, and we're supposed to do that.
Sure.
But if the exaggeration is this country is more racist than it really is, or white people or Donald Trump is an even bigger villain, we already have enough of that. Why not just tell jokes and exaggerate on a horrible date you went on, or a time you got too drunk?
Yeah.
That's the kind of exaggeration
I
we're
think
used
you're right.
And it actually shows how, and I've never seen Hassan's material, but I am.
Hassan.
Hey, Hassan, but guess what?
Yeah.
You're good for you.
I'm canceled.
Good for you.
Oh, okay, I
No,
thought
I'm
I
saying,
got canceled.
good, because it would have been torture.
But on the same level, have any of you guys seen Dave Chappelle's 5-minute bit about Juicy Smollett?
Yes,
It's,
brilliant.
for me, I think it's my top stand-up comedy bit of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the same idea, right? Victimhood. In this instance, Hasan plays into it. I'm the victim.
Yes.
In the other instance, Dave Chappelle steps into that role, and he talks about the things that the attackers allegedly said to Jussie Smollett, and he goes, those are things that I would say. Instead of being the victim, he takes the role of villain and is so funny throughout it that at the end you're like, that's brilliantly done. And I think that's the difference between a guy like Hasan and a comedian like Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest to ever have done it.
Yeah,
100%.
I think it was brilliant. It's like, and you nailed it. But do observational comedy. Talk about yourself. Talk about being Indian. Talk about, but that victim. And by the way, he's not. That money's. He's rich. He's famous. He's good.
He's
and
made his
again,
millions.
with the news story, Kayvon, this is gonna be. Nobody gives a damn. People are gonna hear it because you're exposing it. But
here's why it's so important to me. I type videos on this to see who's talking about it, and the only ones are defending him. And we have a show called The Right Show right here on Valuetainment. And if he gets picked for The Daily Show, it's going to be The Daily Show versus The Right Show, and you're going to pick who you want as your news source.
Nice.
hey, oh,
Must be the money.
Must be the money. Okay. Well, thank you, Kayvon. Amazing, because I kind of knew, but I had no idea that it was that much. And bro, shame on him.
Oh, but we didn't vote. What's the worst story? Is it the prom story, the anthrax baby
Anthrax
story,
on the baby's head.
the Kushner story, or the FBI agent?
I think anytime you put, if your story is
My
these white supremacists made me, dude, that's messed up.
And
bro.
it was just baby
That's
powder.
attempted murder. That's attempted murder. That's terrorist. That's a terrorist act. That's the one.
Well, he said my comedy cocktail is 70% truth, 30% embellishing. I want to call BS on that. I think it's 0% truth, 100% embellished.
Dude, and you know what? I wish to God. I don't wish to God.
What cocktail would you call that?
You know what? I think
The Hasan.
I think it'd be funny though if his house is burning and he calls the fire department. He's like, "This is Hasan Minhaj, my house," and they're like, "Wait a minute, is this 30% truth, or are you really? Is the house?"
Hi, this is the cop from Davy, and I'm not coming.
Oh, that's. Hey guys, it's Hasan Minhaj. He's full of shit. Click.
And
I
Vinny,
need no white firemen to come to the house. None.
I need material.
Yes.
And if you want to go to a bar and you don't want to drink, say, "Give me a Hasan Minhaj," and you'll get a 0% alcohol and just have a nice.
That's
You
so
can drink.
freaking
Yeah.
funny.
And then pretend you're drunk the whole rest of the
Dude,
night.
that's so. I love it. All right, guys, we're gonna be moving on. And like I said, guys, if you got comments, comment below what you guys want to talk about, what you think we should check, whatever. If you guys want real cigar smokers back there, let us know. I'm gonna choke to death, but we're here for you guys. All right, we're gonna be moving on with Brandon. We talked about, and I love the acronym, the CBDC. People always like CBD because CBD is marijuana. So CBDC, Brandon, let us know what it is, where we're going with it, And I think it scares the shit out of you because it scares the hell out of me. Let us know. Can I stop that, please? Like, it's annoying and distracting. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so there's no situation in the earth, on the world, that's more concerning to this than this is to me, because it's the ultimate situation where we're giving up control if we let this happen. Because, so for instance, the Bank of International Settlements, like the Federal Reserve for the world, they're saying that over 90% of central banks in the world are going to be implementing this within the next 5 years. So basically what it is, it's a programmable version of money that makes you be able to receive or have money taken away from you based on certain conditions that you meet. So if you have buying patterns that are looked on favorably by the government, then you get money. They want to do social welfare with this, or they want to penalize you if you have spending habits that they're against. So, you drive a smart car or electric car, then, you get a tax credit, you get extra money. If you drive a diesel truck, then you have money taken away from you. So they want to mainstream this in a global way. That's the standard money for the entire world. They're working on the infrastructure for that right now.
So right now, and you said, Brandon, you said, what's the percentage of banks?
Over 90% of central banks are working on a plan to have it done by within the next 5 years.
So Chase, all these huge, JP Morgan, all these.
Well, central banks, so like the banks for the banks, the Federal Reserve is like the bank of banks of the U.S.
Yeah.
Like, so every country has that.
Oh, wow.
So those banks are working on like making that their money system.
So Brandon, no cards, no nothing. It's just gonna be your. Because mind you, I went to Whole Foods the other day. I don't know. Have you been there lately? It's the scanner, the thing, your credit card, and then all of a sudden I saw just palm, and the lady there was like, good. I go, I'm not giving you my palm. I go, how do you know it's me? She goes, no, we'll just charge you. How do you know what the?
That actually gets into something crazy too that just launched. So the creator of ChatGPT, the guy who created that, Sam Altman, he created this new company a month ago called WorldCoin, where they're paying people money to let you scan your eyeball.
In Algeria, where was it? Somewhere in Africa?
They're trying to do it in like Kenya or some
Kenya
third
or
world
Africa,
country.
yeah.
Let's try it out on them. But even they're freaked out by it.
$16, they scan your eye.
They say if something's free, you're the product. So if they're paying you to take it, then what's the situation then? It's worse than you're the product. You're a victim.
Oh my God.
That's the next step. But past having a card that's like using something on your body to make payments or to have money taken away from you.
But they were saying at the airport, you know what Clear is, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing this for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm saying like
what's Clear?
Clear is where they scan your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I fly a lot. I've never seen that.
So
Good.
So you can bypass everybody and go right in there. So I'm saying what ChatGPT is doing is what they've already been doing with Clear for a hot minute. And I actually think I did it. So
I know. I did Clear.
It would be convenient because there is an upside to like it's nice to use a credit card instead of cash, but or a debit card instead of cash. But like, what are you giving up in return for that? And like, it'll be easy to use your body to like not have to like, is my wallet on me? Like, just walk around like be able to scan your freaking arm or something to buy something.
But see how these guys are
come
critics. These guys, like both of you guys said that you guys both went with the Clear program, right?
Yep.
So you traded privacy for ease of convenience, and you guys are actually people that pay attention to shit, and you're skeptical. So just imagine the everyday person who's not skeptical and who doesn't question things. It's a no-brainer for them to sign up for things like these.
100%.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they're making it like easier, it's like like convenience.
Yes.
You're gonna give up the security part of it because you're like, dude, I have people's attitudes like. Because, dude, in Revelations, the mark of the beast, say what you want. I'm not going religious right now, but they said this in the Bible back then. There will be a mark in your body that's going to be used for money and currency. I'm like, and you want to talk about people that wrote about Trump in 1800? This shit's in the Bible from way back when, and it's starting to come out now. And I think about it. I know people that I've asked that were always like, you're never going to put it. Are you? Now they're just like, dude, if everybody's doing it and they're implementing it slowly, Brandon, this is number one, hand palm, and then it's going to go.
And just a quick stat to really hit this home is that the institutions talking about this represent 95% of global GDP. So that's like over $150 trillion worth of countries going full steam ahead with this. So that's what we're up against in the sense of the momentum.
Brandon, is there, because you're saying 90% of world banks are doing it, it looks like this train isn't stopping. Is there a fight to happen against it in our with the people or Congress, or I think I saw something about.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. I actually forgot to bring that. So Congress, there was a bill that just got brought up of them signing a bill trying to proactively prevent a CBDC from taking form. So I think Senator Toomey proposed it, and then a few other Republicans are getting on board, but they need the Senate to get it passed. And the Senate's still
they're Democrat, right?
Yeah.
And they're wearing shorts.
And but I mean, those are the people that are pushing it.
Well, because they like control, and they like to give people money, and that's the whole sell of this thing. Is they're saying we need to increase financial inclusion, we need to make it easier to have government-to-person payments, and that sounds nice to a lot of people because a lot of people are struggling and would love to get government money.
Oh, dude, and Brandon, let's be honest with each other. If our government could treat us and act us like if we were China, they would. Are you freaking kidding me? If you went to the government, the Congress, and all these people, you're like, hey, listen, guys. We're gonna make this happen to where these guys will be basically communists. That's what they're trying to do, bro. Your freedom, your speech, your money, your everything. They want control.
I think all these stories tie together now because you saw what Russell Brand had going on.
Yep.
And then if they could control his money, they could only control his YouTube, they shut it off. They control his agency, they got him off his agency. If they could turn off the money too, they would just go, and he's done completely.
And they set precedent for that a few years ago. Think about how many people got debanked with all the, whether it was like protesting in Canada or stuff with the Jan 6 stuff. They cut people right off from their banks. Even Trump, I think, got cut off from a few banks.
There's people that they can't use a certain bank anymore. Chase Bank won't hold their account. And they didn't do anything illegal or wrong, but they're just like, no,
Just
we don't want to be
politically
I think the My Pillow guy can't go to Chase Bank.
They did it with Tate, his Uber, his Airbnb.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a concerted effort. When people talk about they, Rob, and that fifth generation warfare, it's not a head. People always, me included, we always want to know who's the guy at the top, who's the Wizard of Oz, who's the person behind the curtain. It's not one dude.
No.
It's a conglomerate. It's an umbrella of people that they don't speak every day.
But Vinny, tell me this: if you refuse service to a gay guy trying to get a wedding cake, it becomes a Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
But then they just kick you off of a platform, and you're like, "Will someone help me?" And there's nobody there to help you.
people's feelings.
Yeah,
Right.
feelings nowadays are more paramount than actual fact
Freedom.
or law or freedom. But so Brandon, is there any hope? Because I think once that happens, it's game over. They win because what are you gonna do when they say, hey guys, just FYI, you can only eat one steak a month. Why do you think Bill Gates and all these scumbags are buying up all this farmland? China is buying more farmland here. They own more farmland than I think anybody else. Bill Gates
by military bases.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. And by the way, China, if you don't think Joe Biden is compromised, bro, Ukraine can do whatever the hell they want. Zelensky is flying here. This is a great point, Rob. I think we talked about on the podcast. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, is flying here next week to meet with Chuck Schumer at the White House. And who's the other guy that freezes up?
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. You know why? Because
Glitch
there's-
McConnell.
Yeah, Glitch McConnell. He's coming here because there's 24 billion. That was funny, right, Kel?
I wish I thought of that one, man.
There's $24 billion that we were supposed to give him. Brady, think about the gall. Think about this. $24 billion that the Republicans are holding up. He's getting on a plane from a war country, flying here to meet with them. They're like, where the hell's that money? You realize what that is? That's like me, Rob, going to come into your house with you and your wife and go, hey, Rob, you gave me a gift before for money and I used it and it really helped me out. You said you were going to give me more. Where the hell's it at? And he's coming to your house. Are you freaking kidding me?
That'd be like you owing money to a friend of yours from 15 years ago.
Yeah, Brady, you scumbag.
on it.
Hey, so you fly to Florida
What are
to
you
get it.
drinking?
Hey,
It's odd with, and I saw this, and this is total down the rabbit hole.
I
type
love
thing.
holes and rabbits. Go.
Let's go there.
When you look at Iraq,
Yeah.
Halliburton, the rebuilding of Iraq and Afghanistan after the invasions by the United States,
Gold mine.
after 9/11, it became a gold mine.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing now is the push for all of this funding to go to Ukraine isn't for the war against Russia.
No.
It's to secure interests following the war when we need to rebuild that country with green energy. And who are going to get those contracts? Military contractors from the United States to go in and rebuild that land. So that's where you're like, well, how is this money laundering? It's right in front of your eyes. You're giving them money to fund a war. After that war is fought, you're then going in and rebuilding that country that you funded to get destroyed.
And which they're trying to do is in Ukraine, it's all going to be 15-minute cities. So that's where a lot of
fast
that's where that money's going. That's where it's going. Supposedly because there's the war's going on, but everything that they're demolishing is all going to be 15 minutes.
And you know
cities.
why people will give into it? Ease of convenience. It goes right back to the
But you know what's
CBDC.
even crazier is like if you look around, like I've lived in a city, the convenience is pretty nice.
It is.
Gym's right here, food right here. You live in a little tiny bubble. People don't even know they live in a bubble anymore. You know what I mean?
Dude, they're gonna sell you that. That's how they're gonna sell. They're gonna sell it to you. They're gonna say, listen, doesn't it suck
I got
when
the
your
chip
car?
in my hand. No, I'm sorry.
Doesn't it suck when a car ATM? Okay, dude. Now just grab your phone. You tap it, dude. Listen, it's a chip. Trust me, the FDA is approved. Nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be, dude. The cell phone. Do you want to carry this? Now it'll be in here.
Yep.
You could just be on the phone and be like, oh, hold on, somebody else is calling. Mom, I can't. Mom, I can't. And you're back. I'm
Yep.
telling you,
Yep.
glasses will have a screen. The future is scary, bro.
Yeah.
It's really, really scary.
Or it's convenient.
But no, they're gonna sell you on convenience, but I don't think we give in. I think we hold firm. And going back to the Biden situation, Brandon, you know about this. He was on camera like this, with my hairy ankle showing. He was on camera when he was trying to fire Joe Biden, withheld $1 billion from Ukraine. So think about this. He told them, the prosecutor that was prosecuting Hunter about his Burisma and all his deals, if he's not fired by tomorrow, I'm withholding $1 billion from you guys. And he goes, son of a bitch. The guy, that's live in your face, impeachable, get the hell out. Trump made a phone call talking to them going, hey, can you guys please investigate this asshole? And Trump gets
Impeached
So
for
it's insane, the level of corruption. And then the same thing with China. You mentioned spy balloons.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize I was in the United States Air Force? I had secret clearance. I worked at a nuclear missile base. I was in a missile alert facility. I had codes to let the top of a nuke slide open and people to work on a nuke.
That's terrifying.
Me, Vincent Oshana. Me, Peter, I was in charge of nukes, okay? Oh, dead ass.
Carrot Top was controlling nukes for the Navy. What else did they have?
Oh my God, imagine me and, that's a movie in itself.
That's funny.
Me and Carrot
Oh,
Top.
sure.
But dude, I don't know, where the hell was I going with the nukes?
I have no idea.
You have the secret code.
Oh yeah, I had the secret codes, but I was, shut it.
Chinese spy balloons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, perfect. It's back. So yeah, hey, no, I really am back. So so this spy balloon, this is how I know he's compromised with China too. That's where COVID came from. Weird. We had balloons flying over this country, stopping over Malmstrom Air Force Base, which, mind you, that's where I was stationed. I was stationed at that base. We have, I think, 200 missiles in the ground in Montana, and it's there because it's cold. This balloon stayed there, hovered, chilled. You're like, it flew over. Dude, it's gathering intelligence and left. You tell me if I was in the military and it was Bush, they would have shot that. It would have been a real World War III. The fact that we're not holding their foot to the fire, you still can't say. By the way, I'm sick and tired of hearing these reports where they're like, COVID lab theory.
Right.
When are we gonna stop pretending? The hell with them. It came from China, bro. If you say F China, I'm not talking about the people. I have Chinese friends. The country is a communist, shitty country, and I can care less about them. And Ukraine, I know Candace said it on the podcast. I have Ukraine friends. We know people that work here that are Ukrainian. I love you guys, but that's some shady bullshit business, and I'm not in on it. Yeah. America is first, and are we the strongest country? Was it you that asked?
Yeah.
We're still the strongest because we have the most guns. We have
You
the
know
most nukes. It's us.
What's even scarier is Bill Gates when he said, remember Bill Gates when he goes, maybe this pandemic, but he goes, they're definitely going to feel the next pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, and he made that. Yeah,
Like, what is that?
But
What does that mean,
yeah,
Bill?
when he says pandemic 2, like,
Yeah.
dude, are you a psychic? How do you know pandemic 2 is coming?
How do you know that?
How do you know?
And then his wife went like this too. She put her hand on his leg. She's like,
Which, mind you, you know why his wife left him? Not
because she's
they-
a man? Or
No,
James Island.
no. Brandon, you know this. You know why? You know?
Because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein.
After all these years,
Yeah.
the Bill
Yeah.
Gates Melinda Foundation, she finally, in an interview, she actually said, because of his relationship with him, you know what that means? He's a disgusting pedophile. That's exactly what that
100%.
means.
Shocking.
And he talks like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And anybody that wears a sweater
Yeah.
vest.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're a computer nerd.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about vaccines.
Yeah.
Mind all this land. He's a villain, bro. But anyway, is that everybody?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's everybody.
But I have one more. I have one more, guys, and I want to bring one to the table that I don't know if you guys knew about. It's a story from way back when. And Brady, it's brilliant that you talked about time travel. I didn't know you were going to talk about the Donald Trump book.
I got where
But
that came
me and
from.
you spoke about this the other day. I don't know if you told me about this story and I looked into it. The Philadelphia experiment. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of it, Brandon?
It's the
So
best.
it's Operation. I'm sorry. It's called Project Rainbow. So in 1943, the U.S. Navy had a naval shipyard. Yeah, that's it right there. The destroyer USS Eldridge. They had some guy that did like Einstein's theory. They were doing a bunch of stuff to try to make it disappear. World War II was about to happen, Rob. So they did this experiment in their harbor, and the ship kind of disappeared, went out. By the way, they still had soldiers on the Navy seamen on the boat.
mutilated.
It disappeared, a green cloud of smoke, and then it reappeared. The guys on the ship, sick, they didn't feel well. It was some of them that went crazy.
Yeah, I heard reports that they were welded to
Yeah,
the steel of
That's
the
the
ship.
second. So guess what?
That's
Since these
terrifying.
guys aren't feeling good, let's do round two.
Oh, okay.
They modified. This is a true story, bro. They modified the settings and they made it disappear, and it completely disappeared. A blue beam went off, and the ship reappeared 200 miles away in Norfolk, Virginia. And then another ship, I forgot the name, another Navy ship sees it there, and then it disappears. This is no joke, and then shows back up in Philadelphia. And the messed up thing is that's when they said the soldiers were stuffed inside of metal, inside the thing. A lot of them went crazy. They forgot the situation. Bro, this is real deal experiments with soldiers. They did it with
Tesla did it, right?
Tesla did it, but even I'm talking about our government. Our government tests anything on human beings. They did it with African American soldiers with LSD. They kept them awake for.
They did it with Ted Kaczynski. Ted
Yeah,
Kaczynski was a student at Harvard, and he signed up for some type of program where they dosed him with acid.
Which one's the Ted? The
Unabomber.
Unabomber.
And wait,
To,
so yeah,
to
tell
the
me
point
about.
where the guy ends up moving, and I'm not justifying the actions by any means, but he ends up sending mail bombs throughout the United States,
Yeah.
moves to a cabin in the woods, and the whole edict, the reason why he moved to the woods, and he wrote this in a journal, was about how technology was going to destroy humanity, and he wanted to be as far away from possible from it. And that's a guy that went through CIA experiments in his 20s. I think younger than that, because he was in his early teens when he went to Harvard. He was
they
a
were camped out.
brilliant
It was
guy.
brilliant.
Harvard,
It was
which
very
is crazy. The CIA was just camped out in the basement of Harvard, just like grabbing kids to do these experiments on, which that's crazy in its own.
Charles Manson's one of them too, wasn't he? Charles Manson.
Well, Charles
Didn't he-
Manson was, I
did
think,
he
something with the
experiment
FBI
on
or the
him?
CIA or something. They were experimenting on him, bro. And Brandon made a great point. You have no idea what they're doing with some of these people to experiment, because, bro, it's all about your mind. The MK Ultra, it's real. It's not like it's a joke, bro.
Yeah.
The Manchurian candidate stuff, just going up back to that scopolamine, the devil's breath. Who knows what they have, bro? In the 70s, they had a heart attack gun. You have any idea? Any idea? What are you gonna say, Brandon?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, 'cause I'll-
finish.
Because I was gonna go into another one. So say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, no, like just deeply psychological. They have that operation was Mockingbird. So like think about the psychological impact they have on people's minds. You know, like there's varying degrees of how mentally strong people are. So think about how many people are impacted on a broad level just by the media, repetition, like saying the same thing over and over and over again.
yeah.
It's like you hear the things coming right out like CNN's mouth through people, like when you try to argue with them about things, like just the talking points. So that stuff is effective to on a certain amount of people. Is like just the repetition of
I
saying
agree.
these
Yep.
punchlines.
That's phase one.
And if you remember, and I go back to it a lot because it was a very pivotal time in my life. I was 14 when 9/11 happened. And I remember coming home from high school and every TV station, even like Nickelodeon and the
Yeah.
Cartoon Network, were just
Yeah.
looping the planes flying into the building
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
and over
Yeah.
again for the entire week. So it got to the point where my parents were like, we're shutting off all the TVs and nobody's watching. It's that repetition that made me, as a 14-year-old, go, yeah, I don't care. I hope that we can protect everybody. So whatever the government does, I'm in favor of, because I don't want that happening again.
They said
Yeah.
they said that's the day when what is it, predictive programming literally took over.
Really?
Like 100%. They said that was the day when literally took over. And then they even did even further. BBC reported that Building 7
fell.
fell before it
Earlier,
even fell.
It's in the background of the shot.
Before
the
it
woman
fell.
announcing
And then
it.
they go like this, and the kid, and she goes, oh, there it goes.
But can I ask you a question though?
Wow.
So that happened.
Yeah.
The timeline is there. She's talking about it. It hasn't dropped yet.
Hasn't
Larry
dropped yet.
Silverstein even said in a documentary after, he goes, we had to make a decision. We had to pull it. Pull it is a demolition term
Right.
for pull it, already set up explosive.
Right.
My question is, Brady, it happened. We know it. It's a fact. How can you debunk? How can we become the liars? I don't want to say that. How are we those people? How are we those kooks when it happened? Is it that powerful of their system on the brains where people go, Yeah. Oh, you're just making stuff up. It really happened. I saw it.
But it's even what you brought up and said. You said, remember you said to me the other day about the plane that went into the Pentagon.
That wasn't
How
a
did it go
plane.
that
Missile.
far
It
into
was-
the ground?
By the way,
But this is what I'm saying is how people are so
Programmed.
completely like programmed is
Yep.
it's absolutely physically impossible to bring a plane that low to the ground
And not-
to hit to the Pentagon and then there's no debris,
no wings,
None.
no engine,
Nothing.
and then we're just because in that madness, Hitler said the bigger the lie, the easier the people will buy it.
100%.
Everybody saw it. It was a hole. That's it. I didn't see any fuselage, no wings, no engine, no nothing. But in that craziness, by the way, they cleaned that shit up quick. You couldn't have any.
yeah.
And not to mention, and we talked about surveillance cameras not capturing things. The
Yeah.
footage from the Pentagon, one of the most secure
Right.
buildings in the entire world, and it's not even, they confiscated, it's not the actual footage that they captured at the Pentagon on 9/11.
surrounding.
Exactly, the gas stations that had surveillance cameras, the hotels that had surveillance cameras, that the United States government confiscated all of them. And
Fact.
the only image that they've released is that grainy video from the security
Which you
camera,
can't
frame
tell.
by frame. You
Isn't
can't
that
see what
Isn't
it
that
is.
and going back to you, what a evil. Listen, I'm positive. I believe in God. I go to church. It's a fight, dude. And that's just one instance. Like, you could go how far back from all the shit where there's so many questions, but you're not allowed to talk because they will shut your ass up and they'll label you something, and then he's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, people believes the Earth's flat and dinosaurs weren't real and birds
Yeah.
don't exist. Go.
Bro, and the military, and by the way, the military, let's not, they will do anything, Brandon. It's scary, the level of craziness that they will go to. And this is a fact. In 1984, the U.S. military actually considered making a gay bomb. And I'm not joking.
What do you mean consider?
Guys, I'm not joking. A gay bomb, and one that they were working on it. You think I'm joking? People out there could Google it. And one was for bad breath. So think about it. They would drop a bomb at a town. Look it up.
I'm
look
worried
it up.
to Google gay bomb.
No,
Gay
gay
bomb.
bomb. Not gay bomb.
it was
Gay bomb.
successful.
Gay bomb. So think
Gay
about this.
bar.
They were working on a bomb that would give people halitosis. So for instance, if they bombed a certain section or a house or an area and the gas hit, now if that terrorist got hit with it, and we know that group, if they were in the town or they were somewhere and somebody smelled that, they'd be like, oh my God, oh shit, he's a terrorist. And the gay bomb, no joke, they said that they put a chemical, it would be a cloud of gas that would be discharged over enemy camps that contained a chemical that would cause enemy soldiers to become gay and to have their units break down because all the soldiers became irresistibly attracted to other men. Could you imagine fighting and you're like, kill him! And you're like,
They tested
ooh,
They tested
ooh,
Let's go.
stop.
Could you imagine, a bomb is a big deal, but what if you just want to get a party going, you just do a little gay grenade?
It doesn't last long.
They tried it. It worked. It was in West Hollywood.
San Francisco.
But I'm not, Bob, did you look it up? It's real.
Oh yeah, I saw gay bomb, and then I saw a lot of other things I don't want to
Yeah.
mention.
Gay bomb.
And now your Amazon wish list just changed. Just
But
be careful.
can you imagine the level of just warfare that they're trying to test or do, from disappearing boats to all that stuff just to get out there? And bro, it's scary that they were doing this in the 40s. Can you even imagine what they're doing, Brandon? It's 2020. It's about to be 2024. You guys have no idea. We're on what's our G5? Do you have any idea what these people are running on?
Dude, CERN, you're looking to CERN. I mean, that'll put us down a rabbit hole. But splitting atoms and whatnot, people think we might
God.
have be in a parallel universe because of the stuff they're doing at CERN.
Yep.
They're splitting atoms, dude.
Yeah,
It's in
they have no
Switzerland.
idea what's gonna happen either. It could distort the entire universe. But it's like people can't help themselves but push the limits on technology, no matter how crazy it is. We
Well, what they're
literally
trying
can't
to do
help
is also
ourselves.
black hole, right?
Yeah, like creating a wormhole.
Well, guys, I think that's it for us. Dude, I can't. We started here. I don't even know where the hell who are we?
Yeah.
Are we in another dimension?
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is real life right now.
Listen, let's talk to Trump about
Yeah,
it.
but hey, I want to thank everybody out there for watching The Unusual Suspects. I had a blast.
Yep.
Like I said, guys, drop a like, tell a friend, please subscribe. Dude, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be doing this a lot, and it's gonna be fun. And we're talking. So, guys, subscribe. Comment. Oh, whatever. Yo, please do this, guys. Whatever topics you guys want to talk about, please put it in there. Blow our minds, because, yo, we'll talk about anything. We don't care. Okay, guys? No, we don't care.
He just
So-
said gay bombs. We'll talk about all of it.
and so everybody that's here, from Pete, Pat, everybody, Kelly, Jorge, everybody that's here that's working, Jeremy, you're in the back, guys, everybody out there, thank you guys for watching. We will be here next week. Oh, and by the way, the Vault drink, hear me out, it's on Amazon right now. So trust me, great watermelon. I mean, is it great? Yeah. Cherry and watermelon, they're the
Watermelon's
best.
the best.
But guys, all of you, take care of each other, love each other. We will see you guys next week. Peace and love.
Later.
We're out.
No, let's get those gay bombs going.
Yeah,